Hello my friends, Amy Esther here with another video, and today we are talking about how to get pregnant naturally when you have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, or some kind of an ovulation disorder. I have been pregnant a lot, and I think 5 times now. I am currently pregnant. I'm currently 23 weeks pregnant with a little boy, and I have a daughter who is 20-ish months old, somewhere around there. She's around 20 months old, and I have a little boy coming in a few months. And I've also had 3 other pregnancies, which unfortunately did end in miscarriage. But I've also had many doctors tell me that pregnancy was not possible or going to be extremely hard for me. And although it started out a little hard and a little bit tricky, I have been able to get pregnant quite a few times. And I've been able to do it naturally many times. I did go through a phase where I did do some fertility treatments, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but I have been able to get pregnant 5 whole times. And I have been diagnosed with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is, I think I need to do a whole video about PCOS. So if you guys want that, let me know in the comments below. But PCOS is basically an imbalance of hormones, which can cause your ovulation to be off or not happen at all. It causes follicles to develop on the ovaries, and so you'll have what's known as polycystic ovaries, and that makes it very difficult to ovulate. And I will do a whole video about what PCOS is and all of that. If you guys are interested, let me know. But point is, I have PCOS, and if you're watching this, you probably also have PCOS, or you have some kind of an ovulation disorder as well, which makes it very, very hard to get pregnant. So let me just tell you a little bit about my journey first, and then we'll get into all of the tips and why I always, from now on, since I tried fertility treatments, will never go back to that and always will try only naturally. So I got pregnant the first time after a little over a year of trying. I also have endometriosis, and so I had a surgery for that. And when I got pregnant the first time, again, we'd been trying for a little over a year, and I was not ovulating. Instead, I was developing a bunch of cysts, and they would rupture, and you guys know all the crazy PCOS stuff that happens. So I was having a really hard time getting pregnant, and then I went on a really strict diet for one of the chronic illnesses I have. If you've been to my channel before, you know I have several chronic illnesses. I also have some severe stomach issues. I have a small intestine bacterial overgrowth and some other things going on. And so I went on a super strict diet for that, which cut out a lot of things. It was a mostly paleo type diet, even more strict than paleo, but it was mostly paleo, so it didn't have any sugar or flour or any of that stuff. And I did end up getting pregnant naturally after I had that surgery. So I had a surgery, and then I had gone on a pretty strict diet, and I got pregnant. Unfortunately, that one ended in a miscarriage. And after that, I went to my doctor, and he told me how it's not quite normal to try for over a year and not get pregnant. And I had been diagnosed with PCOS. So he suggested trying Clomid, which is an ovulation drug. I will link my Clomid video down below where I talk about it, but it was not for me. I did get pregnant twice on Clomid. First one ended in a miscarriage. Second one got me my daughter. So am I grateful for Clomid? Yes, it brought me my sweet, beautiful baby, but it was a horrible experience. So after that, I will never go back on hormone medications, whether it be birth control or ovulation things. Not for me. So if you want to go down that path, you are totally welcome to. I'm obviously not against it. I tried it, but I do not do well with hormone changes. It does not work well with my body, and I was just a mess. So you can watch that video if you want more information on that. But basically, I was like, nope, I am not doing those hormones anymore. So after my daughter, I decided not to do any kind of prevention because I was breastfeeding, and that can stop ovulation, and I had PCOS, so I didn't want to, I would rather get pregnant too fast than have it take too long, right? So I was like, I would rather risk getting pregnant and my baby is 6 months old than not get pregnant for another 6 years. So I personally did not get pregnant. I didn't ovulate at all while I was breastfeeding. I breastfed for about a year, and as soon as I stopped breastfeeding, I got pregnant. And we're going to talk about why that is in just a minute. But I did get pregnant, unfortunately lost that baby in a miscarriage as well. A few months later, I have a whole video on what I was doing at this time, but I was basically treating an autoimmune disease that I have, Hashimoto's disease. I was eating on a very strict diet. I was basically getting my hormones really balanced naturally with diet and supplements. And I got pregnant about 3 months later. And after I had had that miscarriage, the one after I stopped breastfeeding, I was told by multiple doctors that I would not be getting pregnant again easily. My cysts were not doing good. My ovaries looked terrible. I even had a doctor tell me if my daughter didn't look exactly like me, then she wouldn't believe me that I'd ever been pregnant before because my ovaries looked that terrible. And I got pregnant only 3 months after that miscarriage. And that was when all those doctors, I had a holistic doctor, an OBGYN, and an internist all look at my ovaries and tell me, you will not be getting pregnant naturally. It's not going to happen. And I did it only a few months later. So I've had a lot of experience getting pregnant with PCOS and I've tried a lot of different things. And so I wanted to make a whole video talking about all the things that I did and all the things that have worked and just all the tips that I have found as I have gone on this journey to help you get pregnant naturally with PCOS. And it's really hard right now. If you're watching this in real time, we are currently in like quarantine time because of this crazy virus going around. So you probably aren't able to do fertility treatments anyway, because I know they've shut a lot of those fertility clinics down to try to prevent spread of the virus. So this is a really good time to try it naturally. If you're struggling, if you're watching this in the future, hello from the future. I guess I should say, wait, hello from the past. I hope that your life is a little less crazy than ours is right now. But if you're watching this in real time, it's kind of tough right now to get any kind of help fertility-wise. So these are things you can do at home on your own. You don't need a doctor to prescribe you anything. This is just all stuff that you can do on your own. Okay, the first tip I have for you is to get healthy. This is going to mean something different for everyone, but let's just cover our bases. So we need to be eating a healthy diet. So for me, I have an autoimmune disease, so I need to eat on an autoimmune diet that helps my autoimmune disease. So I will put in the description below the video of how I got pregnant with my current pregnancy, and I talk about the diet I'm on specifically. I have Hashimoto's disease. So if you have any kind of autoimmune disease, that diet will really help you. It's called the AIP Paleo diet. I talk more about it in that video. But if you have something like that, having a specific diet might help. If you just have an ovulation disorder, I shouldn't say just have an ovulation disorder, that's a big deal. But if you have an ovulation disorder and don't have like an autoimmune disease, other things going on, just eat healthy. Eat a lot of vegetables. Eat some lean protein. Try to avoid sugar and processed foods. And you know the things that are healthy. I feel like people know, we just don't do it, right? Don't eat fast food. Make your own homemade food. Eat lots of veggies. You know how to eat healthy, so you need to do it. If you have PCOS, from people I've talked to and my own experience, paleo and keto diets seem to work the best for people with PCOS. So I would highly suggest going on a paleo or keto diet if you are struggling with PCOS and your hormones are very imbalanced, because those can really help balance your hormones. And again, it's just vegetables, meat, fruit. That's like basically what you eat on a paleo diet. So I would highly suggest that. And paleo diets work really well for me with my PCOS. The only time I ever ovulate on my own is when I'm on a paleo diet. So that is my suggestion there. Also exercise. So you need to exercise, but obviously you don't want to exercise a crazy amount, but exercise a healthy amount. Exercise 30 minutes a day or 20 minutes a day if that's all you can do, but exercise a healthy amount every single day. Whatever that means to you, find something that's fun for you. I personally lift weights. That works really well for me. I also have POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, and so I cannot do cardio without getting severely sick. So I lift weights personally. You might love cardio. You might love going to a high fit class. You might love doing some YouTube workout videos. Find something that's enjoyable to you and do it every single day. If this is important to you to get pregnant, you need to be exercising regularly and eating well. So going along with that, your weight needs to be at a healthy weight. And I know if you have PCOS, it is so hard to lose weight. It is so hard. Our hormones are all messed up and it's really hard. So if you can lose weight, do it, because all the experts say that being at a healthy weight, that means not too overweight or not too underweight, is the best time to get pregnant and the easiest for your body to get pregnant. But if you're struggling with being overweight and you are having a hard time losing that weight, you of course can see a doctor, try to find some things that can help. Medically, like I know some people take metformin and stuff. Again, that's not natural, so that's not something that I am going to recommend you do. I tried metformin, hated it, made me feel terrible, so I would not recommend it. But if you're really struggling, that's something you could try. But if you cannot lose the weight, at least just eat a keto diet and exercise. Those are my two suggestions, keto or paleo. Choose keto or paleo and then exercise every day. Don't worry about the number on the scale. If you're having a hard time losing weight, just focus on your diet and exercise. Two other things that you want to work on for your health is sleep. Try to get better sleep. Go to bed early, wake up early. Even if it's hard for you to wake up early, I promise if you get in the habit of waking up early, it will help you go to bed earlier. It'll help you feel more refreshed. You'll sleep better if you wake up earlier. It's just science. In fact, I have a video on my channel all about how to be a morning person when you have a lot of chronic pain and fatigue. So if you're interested in that, go watch that video. So sleep is important, and stress. Try to minimize stress as much as possible. Meditate, go to a counselor, go hang out with friends, go get a massage, do things for you to decrease stress. So generally, all that we just talked about is be healthy. Live a healthy lifestyle. Change your lifestyle so it's a lot healthier. That's my number one tip that will help you to get pregnant faster. Okay, tip number 2, we're going to talk about some supplements. So the one thing you definitely need to be taking is a prenatal vitamin. Make sure it has DHA and folate. I personally like the Rainbow Light one. That one's really good for my body. It's easy to digest. There's a lot of options out there, but just make sure it especially has folate in it. That is the one that all doctors recommend you have if you're pregnant or trying to get pregnant. And that's important because you want to have those vitamins in your body when you conceive that child. So whether you've been trying for a year, 2 years, a month, you should be taking a prenatal vitamin every single day, just to help prepare your body for that incoming baby. Other supplements, I have kind of researched here and there. There's a lot of people that say supplements don't work. There's a lot of people that say they're miracle workers and they'll get you pregnant tomorrow if you take this supplement. So I am not a big supplement person, to be honest. A lot of people try to sell me supplements because I have so many chronic illnesses. They're like, oh, take all my supplements, buy all this stuff for me and you'll be happy and you'll be healthy. I personally have not found a lot of supplements that help me. I take a prenatal vitamin, of course, because I'm pregnant, and when I'm trying to get pregnant, I always take a prenatal vitamin. And then I had 2 supplements that I took once when I got pregnant. So when I got pregnant with my daughter, I was on Clomid, but I'd read about Vitex and maca root and I decided to try them. These are 2 supplements that you can take, and I took those. The month that I started those, I actually got pregnant. So was it because of the maca root and Vitex that I got pregnant? I don't really know. It was my only pregnancy up until that point that didn't end in miscarriage. Does that mean anything? I can't really tell you, but the internet seems to think that those work, and I guess they worked for me. Could be a coincidence, but I did take maca root and Vitex the month I got pregnant with my daughter. I'd been taking them for a month when I got pregnant, if that makes sense, and it worked, I guess. So that's something you could try if you want. Do your research on vitamins though, and talk to your doctor if you are skeptical about trying any supplements. But those are the supplements, especially prenatal vitamin, and then you can try Vitex and maca root to help balance your hormones. Okay, this one's kind of funny, but this tip is to have a big hormone shift. Now, this tip will not necessarily work for everyone. It depends on your situation. So Big hormone shifts, what I mean by that is any time that your body changes hormones drastically quickly. So for example, when I stopped breastfeeding, that shot my body with hormones that was like, oh, what? You're not breastfeeding anymore? And it triggered ovulation, which wasn't happening before. So that of course cannot happen unless you've already had a baby and are already breastfeeding. And that for specifically getting pregnant right after you finish breastfeeding, and that hormone shift that happens right there, I would just say if you do end up getting pregnant and you want more than one child, don't use any birth control after you have the child, because your body, as soon as you stop breastfeeding or as soon as your baby weans off breastfeeding a little bit or starts sleeping through the night, those kind of things can kind of shock your body into ovulating again, and you may be able to get pregnant. And like I said, for me, I would prefer to get pregnant faster than I would hope than have it take longer than I would hope, if that makes sense. I would rather just get all my kids out and then not have to worry about getting pregnant again, since it's so hard for my body. So that's personally a tip from me. But other hormone shifts that you could have, even if you are not already breastfeeding, is if you get off birth control. So if you were currently on birth control and you're like, hey, I really want to start my family, then try as soon as you get off birth control, because sometimes that shift in hormones right after you get off birth control can trigger your body into ovulating. Now, I know these aren't natural technically, but this tip is for something, I guess this is, to me, I'm counting in my natural getting pregnant video, because it's not something you have to do extra, right? It's not like you're taking a hormone medication to trigger that ovulation. You are stopping your hormone medication to trigger ovulation. So that of course only works if you're already on birth control and you want to get off birth control. Try to get pregnant I'm not kidding, like the first few days after you get off birth control, it might trigger your body into ovulating. A few other things that could cause a big shift in ovulation is if you change your diet drastically. It could cause like a crazy hormone change and cause you to ovulate. I do think that happened for me when I got pregnant the very first time. I had changed my diet very quickly. Overnight, I was eating basically popcorn. I was having a lot of severe stomach issues, eating a lot of white carbs because it was the only thing I could stomach. And then I went from eating that to all of a sudden eating a lot of vegetables, a lot of meat, and no carbs. And that shift, that drastic shift, made a drastic hormone shift and caused my body to ovulate. Any other ways you can cause a quick shift in hormones that doesn't cause hormone medication, then you may be able to, on your own, trigger ovulation. Okay, the next thing is to avoid any unsafe pregnancy things like caffeine, or at least limit them. I personally don't have caffeine at all. I don't drink soda, I don't drink coffee, I don't do any of that, just on a regular basis. But if you are drinking a lot of coffee, it has been shown that too much caffeine can cause miscarriages. It can you can make it hard for you to get pregnant. And so I would definitely suggest at least weaning off your caffeine to maybe 1 cup a day, or as little as you can have. Ideally not having any caffeine. And then also alcohol. Everyone knows that alcohol is not good for your babies. And when you are pregnant, I do not drink alcohol, just like I don't drink coffee, or I don't have soda or anything. And some of that's religious. I don't drink coffee and alcohol for religious reasons. I don't drink soda because it's not good for my body and it doesn't feel good. But alcohol is not good for your baby. So I would definitely suggest not having any alcohol at all. If you're struggling with that, maybe just have a little bit, try to wean back as much as possible. Other things you want to check out is any drugs you're taking. So are you taking any medications that may make it hard for you to get pregnant, may make it maybe dangerous for the baby? You need to check out any medications that you have, anything that could be possibly dangerous for a future baby or for your eggs, because those are your future babies. Anything that could be potentially harmful to a pregnancy, you definitely don't want to be taking any of those drugs while you're trying to get pregnant. And then any extremes, so extremes in diet or extremes in exercise. So you don't want to be on like an extreme intermittent fasting diet, or you don't want to be exercising for 3 hours a day. You want to avoid those extremes on either end, right? You don't want to do no exercise and be eating ice cream every day, but you also don't want to be maybe only eating lettuce and exercising 6 times a day, right? You want to be balanced. Just be healthy. Like the first tip we talked about, just try to be healthy. Don't overdo anything. The last tip I have for you is to track ovulation. So in order to get pregnant, you need to know when you're ovulating so that you make things happen at the right time, right? And then you can get pregnant. So when you have PCOS, it can be really hard to know when you're ovulating. It could be tomorrow. It could be 3 months from now. It's not like most people where it's just 2 weeks after their period, they're gonna ovulate. That's not how it works for us. So you need to take some ovulation tests. So here's my tips for tracking your ovulation if you have irregular periods and PCOS. So first of all, you need to Google, I'm not gonna go through all of them, there's a lot, but you could just Google ovulation symptoms and you can come up with a huge list of all the things that help you see that you're ovulating. So this I actually got pretty good at after doing it for a few years. It's kind of tricky at first to tell the difference between certain things, but as you go month by month, you'll get better at it and you'll be able to see the trend of when you are ovulating, when your period's gonna start, those kind of things. So you can do that, but that can be really kind of obnoxious to look at. So once you get to that point where you're like, okay, I think ovulation is coming soon, then you want to track your ovulation with an ovulation test kit. I tried all of them. I tried all the cheap ones. I tried the more expensive ones. They didn't work very well for me. 2 reasons they don't work very well. One is because when you have PCOS, you can have a elevated LH, which is the hormone that tells you you're going to ovulate. You can have that elevated and get a false negative just because your hormones are thrown off as is because you have PCOS. So you can get false positives. Did I say false negative? I meant you can get a false positive on your ovulation test because your hormones are all messed up with PCOS. The other reason they don't work very well is because it's not like a pregnancy test. So a pregnancy test, if you take a pregnancy test, there's 2 lines. There's the control line, there's the pregnancy line. If you see anything, light, dark, however color it is, if you see anything on that second line, you're pregnant. With ovulation tests, you'll see a light line at the beginning of your cycle. In order to get a positive, it has to be darker than the control line, and it's so hard to tell. And I'm in a lot of Facebook support groups with people trying to conceive, and everyone's like, is this positive? I don't know. And then everyone in the comments is like, yes, it is. And some people are like, no, it's not. It's so hard to tell. So you guys, I have the solution, which is Mira. It's a hormone tracker that is accurate for one. It is individualized, so you can see yourself. It gets to know you rather than just the average among other people, because if you have PCOS, again, you can have higher LH levels, and this gets to know you, and it's digital. So it doesn't only tell you like, yeah, that's positive, that's negative. It tells you the exact number, and if you use it over multiple months, you can see the trends. You can get to know your numbers better. It's really amazing. And you guys, I think it's so cute. Look how cute this whole thing is. I think it looks like Eva from WALL-E, but it's really cute. I don't know. Maybe that's a bad reason that I'm liking it, but it's super cute. So the way it works is you just pee on the little stick like you do for an ovulation test or pregnancy test, and then you stick it inside the Mira, and it will tell you the exact number of LH. So it comes with a bunch of little fertility wands, which are the thing that you pee on. So you pee on it, and then you stick it in the Mira, and it will tell you your exact hormone level. And this to me is a game changer, because when you are trying to get pregnant, it's so stressful. And I know me, I can convince myself that anything's a positive pregnancy test. I can convince myself that it's a positive ovulation test, right? I can like zoom in on I can just make myself think it's positive all the time. And especially if I just really want to have a baby, it's hard for me to be patient, and I like to know the exact numbers. I like to know where things are exactly. If you've watched my videos before, you know that. I don't like to guess. I don't like surprises. I just like to know exactly. I like to know exactly when I'm ovulating. I like to know exactly what's happening in my body. So this is super helpful if you're struggling to get pregnant and you are struggling to track your ovulation. The other thing I really like about this is it has an app with it. So once you find your levels, it syncs to your app and it keeps track for you. And so you don't have to know like, oh, this number means this thing, or it can tell you exactly, and it gets to know you the more you use it. It will get to know your body. It will get to know the way that your body works, and it will help you track your ovulation so much better than those little pee tests with the lines that you can never tell if they are positive or not, and they are so hard. And it can track everything else too. So I don't know about you, but I also used to use like fertility apps where it would track my cycle and I would put in my symptoms and all the things. This one, it's all in one place. So you can track everything and it can put in your exact numbers at the same time instead of you just guessing what's going on with your body. You know exactly what's going on. So you guys, this, I'm telling you, is a game changer if you are wanting to track your ovulation. And if you want to try this out for yourself, I actually have an affiliate link for you to get $20 off your Mira kit, and I will leave that in the description below so that you can check it out. They have more information about all the science behind it, what it does, all the things you want to know about this ovulation tracker will be in the description below, and you can get $20 off if you use the link that I have in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I hope that these tips were helpful for you. And I will pray for you guys who are struggling to get pregnant. I know how that is, and it's so hard, especially when all your friends around you are getting pregnant and you feel like you're the only one. It is so hard and it feels so lonely. So if you are struggling with that, know that my heart goes out to you. If you have any other tips for me or anyone else who's struggling to get pregnant with PCOS, or any kind of ovulation disorder, will you leave us a comment below so that we can read any of your advice that you have as well, because I definitely don't have all the answers. If you guys want to see more of my videos about life with PCOS, endometriosis, and all the other chronic illnesses I have, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to check out the link in the description to get your own Mira for $20 off. I hope you guys enjoyed this video today, and I will see you next time.